And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome, everyone, to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Friday, August 22nd, 2025. And in the weather-related headlines, it's going to be a warm weekend. Some areas quite sun-filled across southern Alaska, along the Gulf Coast, into the Panhandle. Many locations with the sun will see temperatures in the 70s, a few spots even 80 degrees. But further north and west, once you get on the other side of the Alaska Range, it's going to be a cloudy, very wet, and much cooler weekend. We have high surf advisories in effect along the west coast, starting very late tonight, early Saturday morning. And then moderate to heavy rain is going to spread across the western and central interior. Some locations could pick up as much as 4 or 5 inches of rainfall through Monday. And that means essentially fire season is over for much of the state. There's just a few pockets with some drier conditions. The west and central interior, that's a knockout as far as that goes. And we have new moon this Friday evening, shortly after 10 p.m. And the aurora viewing season now is back, given the fact we finally now are getting some darkness at night, and that will only improve heading through the fall and up through the winter solstice. So looking at a few of the FAA webcams this afternoon. Nome, overcast. They've had a little bit of drizzle, 48 degrees. The wind will be picking up there as a warm front with rain moves in, especially overnight and into Saturday morning. Nome is one of the areas under that high surf advisory. Surf could be running 3 to 5 feet above the normal high tide. As that rain comes inland, the south slopes of the Brooks Range are going to get some heavy rainfall. Ambler already picking up rain and fog, 48 degrees, and rainfall totals around Ambler. Shugnock could be up around 4 or 5 inches here very easily by the time we get into later Sunday or early Monday morning. Now, further south, as we get across areas of south central, Anchorage Bowl, Lower Valley, but especially Kenai Peninsula. Cooper Landing this afternoon, mostly sunny, temperature approaching 70 degrees. It's going to be in the 70s, mid-upper 70s there on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And Hyder has a weekend heat advisory in effect. This afternoon already readings up near 74, 75 degrees, but for Saturday and Sunday afternoon, Hyder could see temperatures up around 80 degrees. That's right, 80. And what's going on in the sky? Well, the aurora viewing season has begun because now we've had enough darkness with the growing night, and that'll only improve sliding through the fall into the winter. Noctilucent cloud season is still holding on. In Europe, the past couple of twilights, it's been pretty active there, still visible. So if you have clear skies, it's not impossible. We could see those rare Earth's highest clouds here. Usually it's about around an hour after sunset or an hour before sunrise in the deep twilight. New moon occurs this Friday evening, 10:06 p.m. And the USGS has downgraded Mount Spur back to normal green status as an eruption is unlikely now based on the activity that has been monitored for the past several months. So that's good news. And here is from the River Forecast Center. This is the total rainfall expected this weekend, essentially today through Sunday, through Monday early morning, 4 a.m. Monday morning. But look at this area here along the Brooks Range and north of the Alaska Range up through the Yukon River, where you have the higher terrain east of Fairbanks, or you get up to some of the higher terrain west of Bettles around Ambler, Shugnock. These areas here could locally pick up in excess of 3-4 inches of rain, and it's all being fed by an atmospheric river coming in with a front off of the Bering Sea. And if that's not enough, there's going to be another system produce some heavier rainfall as we go into early next week. There's another one Monday into Tuesday coming up here into the southwest and spreading northeastward. So this only accounts for this weekend into 4 a.m. Sunday morning. So on the hazardous weather map this afternoon, we have wind advisories for Saturday for White Mountains, higher terrain surrounding Fairbanks, Gobbler's Knob, up toward Arctic Village, and Coldfoot could see some stronger gusty winds. On Saturday, there's also a high surf advisory for areas along the west coast, the western southern coast of the Seward Peninsula surrounding Norton Sound down through the lower Yukon coast with that front coming in later tonight and during the day. Saturday, water levels could run 3-5 feet above the normal high tide, so be aware of that. And then the heat advisory down here in Hyder for temperatures of near 80 degrees for both Saturday and Sunday. Quick check of the fire season. It's largely over with, except for a few little pockets. I want to step out of the way. We had a 1 million plus acre season, just over 1 million acres, almost 1,005,000 acres. So another active fire year. And looking at the fire danger on Saturday, there will be a few drier pockets up the lower valley, the upper part of the Tanana Valley toward Northway Tok, and then the Kenai Peninsula down around that area, Cooper Landing to Sterling, Swanson Lake, that area there, where there will be drier conditions, and we also have the sunshine, warm temperatures in the 70s. So on the satellite imagery this Friday, we have that low pressure still spinning in the North Pacific. There's that trough with some clouds and some areas of light rain or rain showers brushing, especially the outer Panhandle coast up toward Yakutat, Sitka to Yakutat, and then back here to the west, we have a push of warmer air coming northeastward. Low pressure will be crossing the Gulf of Anadyr and the Bering Strait later this Friday night and Saturday morning. And that is going to push a lot of rain into the western interior and central interior to start things off. So late tonight into early Saturday morning, weakening trough along the northeastern Gulf Coast, a few remnant showers and clouds. We have this low pushing up toward the Bering Strait with a warm front coming inland. And then for Saturday, that moisture is just going to stream northeastward into the interior, and especially running up the Yukon Valley and up along the south slopes of the Brooks Range is where we'll see most of the rain. That feed of moisture comes from way down tropical parts of the North Pacific, so it's going to be running southwest to northeast ahead of that system. Meanwhile, Saturday afternoon, weak high pressure along the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. Areas that can get some sun this weekend will be very warm. I would say places like Cooper Landing, Sterling, there on the Kenai Peninsula, Hyder, Metlakatla, Ketchikan are going to see temperatures easily in the 70s, even a few isolated 80-degree readings. And then on Sunday, we're going to see the ridge holding. The ridge may actually start to rebuild back to the northwest Sunday into Monday, so that means more warm temperatures, especially Kenai Peninsula and even other areas of south central if you can get that sun for a bit. I think it'll be definitely a sunnier day on Sunday across much of the Panhandle. And the front's going to stall out just north of the Alaska Range, kind of between the Alaska Range and the Yukon River, waiting for another wave of energy to ride northeastward. This is the second low that's going to pull in more moisture up here across Bristol, Kuskokwim Bay, the southwest interior Alaska Peninsula, and that's going to pull back up here up to Norton Sound, the Seward Peninsula here as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So this is going to be a very wet pattern for those areas of the state. And then for Monday, here we have it. There's a low there coming up toward the lower Yukon Delta, and we have another little wave further south. So this frontal boundary is actually going to probably, as that kind of pivots up here for Tuesday, we're going to see more in the way of rain across this region later Monday and Tuesday with wind. So active weather across the Alaska Peninsula, southwest, west mainland. Still the high pressure taking shape, actually rebuilding. This is really going to warm things up. Panhandle is going to see some very warm temperatures Sunday, Monday, 70s, even some isolated 80. If we can get the ridge to nudge a little further north and west and break into some sunshine, we can even see some pretty warm temperatures with the sun if it happens there around Anchorage Bowl, maybe the lower valley, and certainly the Kenai Peninsula. So here are some temperatures Saturday morning. Lows are going to be on the mild side. Above freezing, 30s across the Arctic coast there at Beaufort Sea coast. Otherwise, upper 40s, lower mid-50s, much of the mainland, and certainly in through the Panhandle. High temperatures on Saturday afternoon if you can get some sun. Look at that, 75 easily. Maybe that's not even enough here for the southern Panhandle. 72 Glen Allen, and as we go up toward the upper Tanana Valley. But here, even the Kenai Peninsula, if you can get in the sun there, Cooper Landing, Sterling will be warmer than 65. And as we get into Sunday morning, still, again, this moist, mild air will be overspreading the interior along the Yukon River. Rain, as I said, steady rains in through this region. South slopes of the Brooks Range, the Yukon Valley, steady, moderate rains with occasionally locally heavier rainfall. Low temperatures generally in the 50-ish degree range. Maybe a little cooler spine of the Brooks Range. Could be even a little wet snow trying to mix in up there. And then temperatures Sunday afternoon may not be enough down here for it. It just depends on cloud cover in this part of South Central, but certainly 70s around there, Northway, upper Copper River Valley, and again 70s in through the Panhandle where you do get some sun. Here's the other noted thing about the extended outlook. With that ridge attempting to try to rebuild and reestablish itself over this region, that makes the Panhandle a very favorable spot to have above normal temperatures, and it's looking like the very end of August, the first day of September, which I believe is Labor Day or very close to it. Yeah, it is. We're looking for a very high probability of above normal temperatures across much of the southern mainland, especially along and south and southeast of the Yukon River, all the way through the Panhandle, with the bulk of that happening areas surrounding Cook Inlet, Prince William Sound, the Kenai Peninsula, including Anchorage down through Yakutat and all of the Panhandle. Rainfall, with the ridge in place, drier than normal conditions across the Panhandle, near normal along the Alcan border, eastern mainland, with the better chance of rain along areas of the west, southwest coast, Alaska Peninsula, pushing into the western interior. So we still have some actually very warm summer weather to go for southern and southeast parts of the state, and then some very wet conditions in the west, southwest, up into areas of the central interior as we go through this upcoming weekend.